Thank you for tuning into this episode of News Flash, brought to you by ClassicCars.com and The Journal. I'm your host, Jeff, and today we'll be looking at several news articles for car news. Specifically, we're going to be looking at the new Nissan Z GT4 race car that was just unveiled. Ferrari has unveiled a one-off speedster. There's a brand new performance SUV from BMW, and more. Nissan has unveiled the GT4 version of their Nissan Z car that was just released, and it's going to be racing in GT4. Now, GT4 is a great series because it's possibly the closest to their road-going counterparts. Another thing that makes this really interesting is the fact that the Nissan Z's biggest competitor, the Toyota Supra, also races in GT4, so it'll be interesting to see how those two cars end up matching up and going against each other. The car will start racing in 2023 and will be featuring the same VR30DD TT engine that is actually equipped in the street car. Now, some changes have been made. Obviously, the engine was actually tuned by Nissan's racing division, Nismo, and that's what's going to be being used in the racing series, which means there's probably some room to be tuning and even do that to your own Z if you have one. Now, the specifics for this car have not been unveiled yet, but there should be more information provided at SEMA. The other thing that's most interesting about this is seeing some of the aero package that has been added to the car, such as a GT wing, canards, and front splitters. These are potential future promises that we could see added on a performance version of the Z later. And for our next article, Lamborghini has ended production of the Lamborghini Aventador again. Now, the reason I say again is the Lamborghini Aventador production was actually supposed to end a little bit a while ago, but what's happened is with the sinking of the Felicity Ace, that's that cargo ship that went down with tons of cars on board that unfortunately had a lot of the final editions of the Lamborghini Aventador Ultimae. But as of recently, the last Aventador Ultimae has been completed in light blue for a Swiss buyer, has finally rolled out of the factory. So that means that's it. There's no more Aventadors. We should be seeing the successor of the Aventador coming out here shortly with what is supposed to be a newly developed V12. So stay tuned to the news and make sure you get subscribed so you don't miss that announcement. Ferrari has unveiled a one-off car called the SP51 V12 Speedster. This car is based off a Ferrari 812 GTS and of course has a speedster style body style with a livery based off the 1955 Ferrari 410S. Now that livery means that these stripes go straight down the center of the car. The car is featured in Rosso Corso with blue and white stripes going down the center, and the stripes even go through the interior of the car, making it a very interesting styling aspect, indeed something we really haven't seen before on some of the other Ferrari models. Now the car looks an awful lot like an A12. Obviously there are some exterior changes to make it stand out a little bit more, but we can of course expect to have a front engine V12 driven to the rear wheels. We don't have all of the specifics for this car, but we do know that a base GTS 812 starts at around $405,000. One could only imagine the size of the wallet it takes to build a one-off Ferrari and how many cars must already be in their existing collection. Dodge has announced that the number 7 last call car is going to be delayed. Originally, this car was supposed to be unveiled at SEMA, as we've already seen the other 6 before it, but due to some supply chain issues, we will not be seeing that happen, unfortunately. But we here at ClassicCars.com have taken the time to make some guesses for you about what we think number 7 could possibly be, including some very out there guesses. Personally, I would like to see either a Elephant version of a car, because that engine is awesome. How cool would it be to have 1,000 horsepower production muscle car like that? But also, I would like to see maybe a version of the Challenger that is a CUDA, that has some updated fascia, maybe even a shaker, and some other changes just to see what we've seen from some of the other cars, and I think that would be a very cool addition in the long line of the Challenger. Now, we have some other guesses from the office as well, including a Kowalski edition Challenger. That's in reference to the movie Vanishing Point, where they feature a white 1971 Challenger. And of course, there's lots of references. If you do want to see the rest of our guesses, be sure to check out the Classic Cars Journal link below in the description of this video. BMW has unveiled another performance SUV. This is the 2023 BMW XM, and it looks like an absolute spaceship. This spaceship of an SUV is actually a hybrid drivetrain and is the first plug-in hybrid to be added to the M line, which is pretty interesting. Now, this isn't the only M SUV line that exists, but it's pretty interesting being that it has the hybrid drivetrain. So power comes from a 4.4-liter twin-turbo V8, and it has an electric motor that's actually built into the transmission, providing additional power for about a combined output of 650 644 horsepower. Now, that sounds a little bit low, and there are some other higher production horsepower numbers from some other V8s out there. It is provided to all four wheels, and it can do 0 to 60 in just 4.1 seconds with a near 50-50 weight distribution, and it can do a top speed of about 168 miles an hour, although it is electronically limited to 155 miles an hour. If that's not enough for you, good news is BMW has also issued a red label version. This version ups the power to 725 horsepower, but it also ups the price. You can find the base model 644 horsepower version around $160,000, and if you want that red label, you'll be looking at $185,000. So not an expensive vehicle, but if you want to look like you're from space and drive a performance SUV, could be for you. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Newsflash. If you enjoyed this video and want to check out the articles yourself, be sure to check the links in the description below. And if you could throw us a like, we'd really appreciate it, and get subscribed so you don't miss out on more content like this in the future. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you.